Okay, so this was the formula that we wrote on Tuesday. And which numbers told us the vertex? Which numbers in this formula tell us the vertex? Not X. H is one of them.
H and K.
H and K. Which one deals with the x-axis?
H.
H deals with the x-axis. That's your x coordinate of your vertex. And K is your y coordinate. And always remember to switch your sign. Whatever you see in the equation for the x coordinate, it always flip-flops when we graph it. Now, I told you guys that we would deal with this A value today. All right, the A value is going to tell us from the vertex how to make the pattern. So on Tuesday, every pattern of the absolute values were just up 1 and over 1, correct? That was because the A value was 1. If there's not a coefficient there in front of the variable, you always just put a 1 there. And it was positive, so it went up 1 and over 1. You can have negative A values that would make your V shape go upside down. You can have different V shapes to, instead of up 1 over 1, it could be up 2 over 1 or up 3 over 1. So our A value tells us how to open. And I don't like to say this because it's not technically, the definition isn't really slope, but it does tell us the pattern of how to make our points. And since absolute values are linear, it is the same pattern over and over. So if you want to think of this as slope, that is fine. Now, if A is positive, so if A is positive, it's going to open up. And if A is negative, so open up just means it points upward. If it's negative, it means it will open down. So the first thing that we will do today is we will plot our vertex. We'll find the vertex, we'll make that point on the graph. And then our second piece, once we have our vertex, we will use that value of A to decide how to move. So if it's positive, we'll move up. If it's negative, we'll move down. And then the number will tell us how many times we're going to move up or down between each point. I'm just checking. I still see some people writing. I'll wait a couple more seconds. All right, so let's go to this first example. So I'll give you guys some time. You guys do need to construct some graphs to go with these. But the equation is the y equals the absolute value of x plus 3 and then minus 2. All right, so this is just a review from what we did on Tuesday, because we don't have a coefficient in front of the absolute value on this one. All right, so the first thing that we have to do is we have to find the vertex. All right, can you guys tell me what the coordinates of the vertex will be on this one? Oh, is it?
All
right, if you see a positive 3 in the equation, the x coordinate becomes a negative 3. And then the y coordinate stays the same. The vertex is negative 3, negative 2.
So if it's in the x, if it's a negative, that means it's a positive.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, so whatever sign you see in the equation that's either being added or subtracted from x, whatever you see in the equation, you're going to graph the opposite only for the x coordinate. All right, so that point, negative 3, negative 2, I go to the left 3, down 2. You guys agree that that's my vertex point?
Yep.
Erase all my little points that I used to make it. All right, so we've got our vertex. Now on this one, do we have a coefficient in front of the absolute value? Do we see a number or a negative sign or anything in front of the absolute value besides y equals? All right, if it's not there, what number can you put in front of a variable if it's not there? A positive what? No. One. 0 would mean it doesn't exist. It's there. There's just one of them. So if there's not a coefficient there, that means it is a 1. So our a value is a 1. So that tells me I am going to go up 1, and then it's always over 1. Up 1, and then over 1. So my pattern, since it's a positive coefficient from my vertex, I'm going to go up 1 and over 1 to the right, and I'm going to go up 1 and over 1 to the left, and then I'm going to extend my lines. So that's what we did on Tuesday. We plotted our vertex, but on Tuesday, everything was up 1 over 1. Today, we're going to have some different patterns.
Is it only the power of down one?
Well, you might have
Down
instead, yeah, it might be like a 2 or a 3. Still see some people writing. That's Gracie, let me know when you're ready, okay? Are you good? Maria, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now that one had a positive 1. Now let's look over at number 2. If we look at this equation, all right, finding the vertex is still the exact same process. So just by looking at those numbers in the equation, what will be the coordinates of my vertex?
2, 4.
2, 4. We change the sign for x, we don't for y. So those two numbers there give us our vertex. And we can graph that. Go over 2 and up 4.
There's one little iPad.
Oh, thank you.
I see. It was with Terry Roberts' bunch. That was one that wasn't in use.
Oh, I didn't realize there were some not in use.
It just happened. There was just that one, and yeah. So, I think I gotta get the charger. I'll bring it. I forgot to bring it.
Oh,
Charger,
okay.
But I'll get it. It's got the charger.
Well, thank you. All right. Everybody okay with that vertex of 2, 4? All right. Now, if you look in front of the absolute value, do we see anything in front of that?
-1.
All right. So that negative sign that's just hanging out by itself, that really means this right here means -1. So do you think that we're going to, from this point, are we going to go up 1 or are we going to go down 1?
Down 1.
All right, negative means we're going to go down 1, and then we always just go over 1. So from here, we're going to go down 1 and over 1, down 1 over 1 to the left, down 1 and over 1 to the right, and then we'll extend our lines. So when your coefficient in the front is a negative, you will have a V shape that goes upside down. So positives point up, negatives point down. And isn't that in real life when you're positive, you're looking up, negative, everything's kind of, you're a downer?
Hey, you want to know something cool? You want to know why they made your rear view mirror so small and your windshield so big? Because past there was focus on it less.
Oh, love it. It's very inspirational, Luke. Hey, do we have any questions on 1 or 2?
Appreciate it, sir.
All right, moving on to question 3. All right, we now have a different coefficient there. The equation is y equals 3, then times the absolute value of x minus 3. Now, just because there's a coefficient there, nothing's changed. We're still finding the vertex, and then we start moving. Anyone want to take a stab on the vertex on this one?
0.
What do you guys think about that? So, are we all okay with that -3 in the equation becoming the +3?
Yes.
Now, is there anything being added here? Nope. So that is where that 0 comes from. You don't have to write in that +0, but there isn't a value being added or subtracted at the end. So the y coordinate is 0, so 3, 0. We've got it there. All right, now this coefficient of 3 is going to show me how to open up. It's positive, so which way is it going to point? Up or down?
Up.
All right, and in between each point,
3.
we're going to go up 3 and then over 1. So up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, and go the other way, up 3 and over 1. So whenever those coefficients are bigger, it goes up a little bit quicker, so it makes a skinnier V. You know, so even though it's an added step, it's really not that much more of a step, is it? Say that coefficient in front tells us our pattern. All right, do you guys want to try number 4 on your own and then we'll go over it? All right, so number 4, I'll make sure I have it zoomed over. Y equals the -2 times the absolute value of x plus 1. Okay, I do want to remind you all that we have visitors in the building today. 8th graders are coming today for a tour and to see the play this morning. So if you see the little ones out and about, well, you can go watch the play on Saturday or Sunday.
I love that. In 8th grade, I watched it.
Mhm. No, but just remember, those little 8th graders will be looking up to you guys. So if you see them, be polite, be welcoming.
I was just going to ask if we could see out of the Instagram.
Hmm?
I was just going to ask if we got out of the Instagram. Come around the corner.
All right, Lane, what'd you get for your vertex?
I got 1, 0.
Do you guys agree or disagree with 1, 0?
Oh, I didn't flip the sign.
Okay, you didn't flip the sign. So it should be -1, 0. So for those of you that disagreed, I agree with you. So it should be at -1, 0 because we see that +1 in the equation. We always flip the sign for x. So at -1, 0, we're right over here to the left 1. All right, next thing, what is this -2 going to tell me to do?
Down.
All right, so that means I'm going to go down 2 and over 1 each way. So down 2 and over 1 to the left, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1 to the right. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit skinnier, but not as obviously. When an A value is 3, it's going to be skinnier than when it's 2. right, any questions on those four? All right, now I do have a couple more for you guys to try, and then we'll probably get some whiteboards out if we have time. All right, so let's just focus on number 5 first. So I'll zoom in so you can see the equation, and then I'll zoom out to graph. So let's do number 5 first. So I want you to try this one on your own, and then when the people next to you are finished, check with them and see if they got the same thing as you. And if you guys don't agree on something, and you can always ask me if you don't agree. And I did get about 27 missing assignments turned in yesterday, most of them after 10 p.m. So for the assignments that did get submitted before midnight last night, I will be grading those, but I will be grading those tomorrow while you guys are working on your absolute values assignment. So we will have an in-class assignment tomorrow, and that's whenever I will be grading those. Sage, what'd you get for the vertex on number 5? Give me a confident answer. All right, do you guys agree or disagree with 2, -3? Agree? All right, so let me zoom out so I can get that graphed. All right, so +2, -3, over 2, down 3. Do you guys all have your vertex point like this? All right, now my coefficient on this, so 2, -3, that's where the vertex comes from. So then this coefficient right here, what does that tell me to do? Go up 2 or down 2 if it's positive? Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1 to the right, then up 2 over 1 to the left. And I try to make as many points as I can so my lines are a little bit straighter. All right, now on number 6, I'm actually going to add a number to it. So on number 6, before you graph, I want you guys to add that to the equation. So I want you to graph this with the +5 at the end. Y equals -3 times the absolute value of x minus 3. But then go ahead and add that +5 in. All right, do you guys agree or disagree with my vertex?
Disagree.
What's wrong with it?
It's just bad. It needs to be mirrored over.
Well, what part of it's wrong? The x coordinate or the y coordinate? All right, what should the x coordinate be?
3.
All right, it should be 3, 5, not negative 3, 5. So it should not be over here on this side. It should be on the right at positive 3, positive 5. Now, what's my negative 3 tell me to do?
Down 3.
Down 3 and over 1 each way. So down 3 over 1 to the left, down 3 over 1 to the right. Make straighter lines than me. And there we have it. Right, do you guys have any questions about those 6 that we just did? So tomorrow's in-class assignment will have a little mix of some with coefficients and some that have the coefficients of 1. You just have to look at those. But let's go ahead and get the whiteboards out.